Halle Bailey has sought out and has been granted a restraining order against DDG. And I have some things to say about it. I have always said this. Anytime a man is trying to convince you, or in his case, the general public, that the mother of his child is trying to keep him away from his child, and he's not going to court, he's not talking to lawyers, that man is a fucking liar. All that is actually code for, she is no longer giving me access to her body, her money, whatever it is. And I don't like that. So what's one way that they can manipulate you into trying to continue to have access to you? Right, through their kids. Y'all remember the situation where she wouldn't let him stay in her home while he had visitation with his child? Had nothing to do with that sweet baby, but everything to do with the fact that he didn't like that she didn't want him in her home. And I'm willing to bet, and this is just me making up shit, I don't know these people, it may or may not be true, but I'm willing to bet he was still trying to get in her pants, and she was just like, absolutely not. And that's what really pissed him off. Now, I want to say that any type of man is capable of taking advantage of women. Broke men, rich men, well-educated, not educated. Man is a man, okay? I just want to make this very clear before I say what I'm about to say. One man that you really have to be careful of is a man who is not doing as well as you are. I didn't know who DDG was until after he started dating her. And even after that, it took me a while to, catch on to, who he was. I've never heard of any of his music. It could be because I'm old, but I heavily submerse myself into pop culture, and I'm chronically online. I have 2 teenagers who tell me everything. I didn't know who he was. You have to be mindful of this type of man because he wants nothing more than to humble you, punish you, and to pull you down to his level. Now, I know what you're saying. There are plenty of pick-me's out here who are already low. Why don't they just get them? They're willing to do whatever this man's asking them. It's a sport. It's an accomplishment to these men to take somebody that's up here and drag them down low, while at the same time siphoning resources from them. And while I think he has his own money, in this case, it's just notoriety, getting your name out there, free advertising, if you will. And then they're going to punish you because how dare you do better than them? Who do you think you are? In my case, with my abusive ex-husband, he later admitted that he was jealous of the fact that I was so likable, that I didn't mess up my past, I didn't have a criminal record, and he hated that. So instead of them working on themselves and bettering themselves, they just punish you. You have officially become their punching bag. They can take out all their frustrations out on you. These types of men, 9 times out of 10, are either violent or serial cheaters. I once heard a woman say that when it comes to true crime and all that stuff, one of the biggest ways that women were victimized was because a man asked them for help, and then he led them to his car and, took advantage of them in some way. And she said this doesn't only apply to deranged criminals. It also applies to men in everyday life. If he's asking you for help, if he's asking you for a place to stay, if he's asking, can he borrow your car? If he's asking you for gas money, if he's asking you to watch his kids that he has with somebody else, real men figure out shit on their fucking own. Hell, women do it all the time. Real men figure out shit on their fucking own. Real men, if their life is in chaos and disarray, they will take a step back to get their stuff together. They're not out here worried about getting into a relationship with somebody. But these particular types of men depend on other people to get what they need, and then they blame you when they are a failure in life. Men with good intentions do not ask women for help, and I swear to God, do not tell me about some random exception to the rule story where you helped a man and it wound up being something. Shut up. Real men do not ask women for help. They don't ask you for directions. They don't ask you to change their tire or to check their engine, and they don't ask you for a place to stay. They don't ask you, they don't demand that you allow them to see their child. Instead of going to court, they go to the internet to try to make you look bad. They're not trying to ride on your coattails and get notoriety and become well known because you are. One of my family members gave me some of the best dating advice when I was in my 20s and I was trying to get back into the dating scene after I left my abusive ex-husband. Mind you, side note, I should have never been on the dating scene. I should have taken time to get to know myself and to actually heal. But anyway, back to the story. But that family member told me, at the very least, they must be on your level. Meaning, if you can afford a car, so can they. You're a college graduate, they need to be one as well. You're taking care of yourself, they need to be able to take care of themselves as well. You're well known in society, they need to be on that same level too. Do not get with a man who is not doing as well as you. It's automatically not going to work. And I hear women all the time who brag about how they helped their husband, they paid all his bills, they did all this shit for them. The only exception to that rule is if you both are very young, like high school and college kids, and neither one of y'all got no money and y'all are basically leaning on each other. That's one thing. But I'm talking to actually grown-ass adults. Women who are breadwinners tend to be cheated on the most. Women who are breadwinners tend to not only win the bread, but have to come home and cook it and feed it to everyone. Women who outshine and far surpass their men tend to get abused. Some of you are going to do it anyway, and you're going to have to learn the hard way. Very few of you are going to be that exception to the rule that everybody claims that they are. But if you're smart, you'll listen to this. Any man of any financial status can be an abuser or manipulator. However, you especially want to stay away from this type of man. And if you're dating someone and he has children and he's trying to make you believe that his ex is keeping him away from his kids, get the hell away from that man. And even if this is a real situation and he's going to court and trying to fight for custody, he does not need to be worried about no damn relationship, because more than likely he's going to turn you into his personal assistant and you're going to be running everything and doing everything for his court battle. I have said this a bazillion fulfillion times, okay? Yes, I want you to be in love with somebody and have an amazing, healthy relationship if that's what you want. However, I think we as women need to start using our heads a lot more, okay? Because love will have you making some of the dumbest relationship decisions. Be selfish and center yourself, because these men sure as hell ain't gonna do it.